You're all very nice people. I know that from seeing you do this today. But I'd like you to do a very silly exercise just to see what you make of it. Could you, just in your mind, could you make a list of things that if you wanted to make someone afraid of you, if you wanted to make people afraid of you, how would you do it? Now, I know that's going to be difficult for you, but just sit there for a minute. You don't have to do it on the table. Just sit for a minute. If you want to make people afraid of you, how would you do it? The table right at the back, two guys with the yellow shirts. Can you shout out, please? How would you make people afraid if you had to? Say again? Get yourself a gun. Yes, it's against the law, but don't worry, that would scare me. Yes, this table? Anybody? Shout at them. In an emergency, let's forget emergencies for the minute. If something's rolling towards a guy and he's in the way, we'll shout at him to get him out the way, that's good. But under normal working circumstances, do you agree that shouting at people might scare them? So shouting causes a problem. Let me give you a bit more about the shouting thing. Remember the fear factor? The shouting thing, you cannot escape either. We could do an experiment. I could get some actors outside and we could wire you up to a heartbeat machine, and we could be doing the workshop just like this, and I could get those people after about 2 minutes to get louder and louder and louder. When their voices reach a certain volume, our heartbeats will go up. Why? The subconscious is sitting there. Even though you're listening to me now, the subconscious is watching out for all sorts of things that could hurt us. As soon as it hears that, it thinks, uh-oh, danger, should I get out of here or not? And adrenaline is pumped in straight away. Before, no control, you can't control it. The subconscious says, hey, is this going to hurt me or not? So body language, can that scare people? Yeah. Okay, body language. What else can scare people? Frighten them. Sorry? Bully, how do you do that? Shouting's bullying. How else could you bully people? And it's not a lesson in bullying, by the way. Threaten their job. Hey, if you don't do it, we'll get someone else. There's no lock on the factory gate. Okay, that kind of, threatening a job can frighten people. Hell, we've already discussed that. Good. Another one, how do we bully people? In an industrial setting, how does bullying come about? Just give us a few examples. Not that you've experienced it, and not that you have been bullied, but maybe in another place you've been bullied. How do we bully people?
Humiliation.
Humiliation. Unreasonable time pressure. Creating fear, creating pressure, unintentional. Now look, I've got unintentional. Remember in the olden days, pressure was intentional, do it or else. Nowadays, you get good supervisors, good managers, good colleagues. Remember, not only supervisors put pressure, our mates can put pressure, but we don't think about what we're doing. Now, if you're a team leader, how do you know the time you've given your people is good? In other words, they're not going to be rushing and get all panicky. How do you know the time is right for this job that you've given them? Any offers? Experience, good. Planning, good, but not good enough. What would be the ideal way? Thank you. Ask. Hey guys, here's the job. How long do you think it'll take? 10 days, boss. That's what we're worried about? Isn't it so? Aren't we afraid if we give people that latitude, some guy's going to chance their arm? As the supervisor or manager, if you give the guys that benefit, you know in your head from the norms and experience, it takes 2 days to do this job. You know you've done it for 20 years. You ask them, how long do you need? 5 days, boss. Well, as the manager or the supervisor, you have the right, don't you? And you would say, hey, you wouldn't say, don't be so bloody stupid, because that counteracts them, but you'd say, why is that? Oh, the high pressure pump's not working, we have to use a low pressure pump. I've got 2 trainees, and there's 2 inches of snow on the ground. Oh, I see. So even though the norms are 2 days, with these people on this site at this time of year, it is 5 days. Good. So 5 days is it, not 2 days. Now we have to be careful. Often our plans come from an office somewhere, don't they? And as a supervisor on site, you're confronted with a plan. There's a plan 2 days. That's where it starts, isn't it? See how the fear factor even comes into the supervisor. As a supervisor, if you don't go back to your boss and say, look, you've given us 2 days, we can't do it in 2 days. Say the guys come back to you, it's going to take 2 days in your head. The guys come back and say, oh, it'll take half a day, boss. Should you worry? Why are they? Now you might be secretly pleased, and you might be so pleased you say, fine, great, go and do it. hey, hold on a minute, why half a day? Are they going to go and do something? Now, if they've got 6 extra people and a high pressure pump and an extra line, that, oh, good, it is half a day, fantastic. But if they're going to do something that you don't agree with, that's where we do it. There's been a couple of incidents where the boss has phoned them up and said, how long are you going to be on this job? And then he phones an hour later, how much longer are you going to be on this job? You see what's happening? The impression is that you want me to hurry up. And there's guys laughing at the table on the back. They've obviously been exposed to this. How about 3 times? How long are you going to be on this job? Now, what is a supervisor supposed to do? You've been given time. Your boss is waiting to get another vendor out to do this job. The boss wants to know when to get the vendor out, so he's asking you how long you're going to be. What's wrong with that? Well, he wants us to hurry up. How do you know? He didn't want them to hurry up. He just wanted to know when to bring out the vendor. So if you're a senior manager, and you've seen it and I've seen it, some people get up to high dough when the chief comes to visit. So I'm sure the leaders, the managers and supervisors amongst us will understand this, yeah? We've got to be out there. You're not the ogre. You're going out to help people, not check on them, do whatever we can. So the more we do walkabouts and get people seeing us,